Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? Russ here from Poker's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. I say the things on here that nobody dare say. Right, we're just waiting for Terry to log on. Women love him, men want to bank with him. Uh, Hopefully, we've got Curtis Woodhouse on tomorrow, 11 a.m. He says he's off all week. Probably drowned in his sorrows after his guy that he manages, Michael Webster, folded like a deck chair against Yui. But he will do because I'm hearing Yui's got his man strength. So, KO artist. Here we go. Here's Terry.
See, this is how I know he needs views this week when I get dragged out of retirement. This
Get what?
is how I know Porky needs some numbers this week, man. I get dragged out of retirement. I was like, wait, why ain't Porky dragging me out on the channel anymore?
Hey,
Hey?
hey, I'm trying to figure out how to work this new laptop. You know I'm a dummy, don't you?
Mate, like you've been doing this how many? 9 years.
8 year, mate. I still
Yeah,
don't know what I'm doing, do I? I'm an Atari
yeah,
man,
yeah.
Terry.
This is the bit you should have figured out by now.
Although I've had thrown at this, and I just won't conform, will I? But sometimes you've just got to learn how to work your tech stuff, haven't you?
But mate, you're not conforming with yourself. That's the weird thing about it. You're just costing yourself money.
I know, mad, aren't I? Terry, a lot's gone on over the weekend. What about Jamie TKV and Spig Freeze?
Well, easiest 14-1 I've ever taken off of bookies.
Well,
Yeah, it was easy money. I was surprised people made Fraser the favorite. I laughed my head off.
did you?
Yeah, that was ridiculous. It goes to show, right? This is why I don't listen to people in boxing or fans, especially not fans. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like fans as human beings, like we can have a beer and stuff. But as soon as fans start talking boxing, I switch off because
yeah.
no matter how many times you watch boxing, you're just a super fan. There's nothing else you can ever be. You're a super fan. They were telling me Fraser was going to demolish Jamie, and I'm like,
I bought into all that, didn't I?
there you go. But what was it based on?
Tete performance and him being he were really calm at the pressers and a bit Andre Wardish kind of thing, oozing confidence, wasn't he?
No, there's all
I
stuff that
thought he
doesn't matter.
were.
This is what I mean. People look at stuff that's irrelevant.
Yeah,
In a way, Russ, I had a cheat code because I've been in the corner against both guys, so I know
yeah.
them. I've been in the corner against Jamie 6 times. Um, won five, lost one. I think, yeah. And I've been in the corner against Fraser. And we got robbed. It was his last ever club show in Derby, and we got robbed. And I've always felt with Fraser, he's a great amateur because his lack of stamina never gets exposed over 3 rounds.
Yeah.
But I'd seen him hanging on when he fought JP. He was hanging on at the end. And so I've always had that in my head that he's got stamina issues because he's too heavy for his build.
Yeah.
Like he should be coming in around 250. That's what Fraser should be fighting at 250 and then just relying on his skills. Whatever Angel Fernandez told him about being 20 stone, it don't make any sense. Jamie can get away with being 20 stone because Jamie likes just rumbling on the inside. He doesn't even get tired doing it. Like it was the wrong tactics. As soon as I saw Fraser going trying to bully Jamie, I said, this might not go the 12. That's what I felt.
Do you feel, Terry, that Big Freeze, he's got a similar build to Lucas Big Daddy Brown?
No,
No?
not at all.
Right.
Um, no, I don't know where that's come from.
Well, they're
Completely
the
different
same
build.
height, aren't they? And the same weight.
Okay, but if I got a ton of bricks and a ton of wood, it's still bricks and wood. Um, they're different builds. Fraser is a guy who doesn't have a lot of leg mass, if you look at him, if you look at his build, he's quite a long torso. It's a big torso. He hasn't got great legs. So why he's that heavy is beyond me.
Is he doing his road work, Terry?
How many big guys do road work? I think they've all fallen into this trap that you can get fit on the assault bike. I don't think you can.
Yeah. And do you know what? Froch used to say the same thing to me. He says, "Do you know them treadmills?" He
Mate, stop
says,
mentioning it. Don't mention that name when I'm
"All
on
right, then. Well,
because
I'll mention it myself, and I think it's cheating if you get on
nah,
treadmill."
nah, he didn't put you on. As far as I'm concerned, it's like, until he puts you on his show, mate, I don't want to hear Froch's
Oh, I'm
name.
never going to go on now. I'm never going to go on. But they say a lot of people do say it's harder to do a 6 mile run on the road than on the treadmill, isn't it?
Because you're not
You
overcoming
agree with
wind resistance on the treadmill.
that? Pardon?
80% of running is overcoming wind resistance.
Yeah, yeah. That's
So
why I can do it.
yeah, you can tick over, like you can get
Yeah,
your foot tempo going, but you're not generating force to overcome the air, right? That's what makes running hard.
yeah. Okay. Okay. So where does Big Freeze go now? And where does Jamie TKV go now? Because there's a lot of talking there about what they're both going to do now.
Um, the hard part with Fraser is we need to find someone else who's at a career crossroads, right?
Yeah.
Um, but they're not going to put him in with David Adelaide. I think Fraser would be too clever for David Adelaide. Um, I think Jamie versus Dave Allen's a good fight. I think it's a hard fight for Dave. In fact, I'd make Jamie the favorite there for no other reason than Jamie gets a lot of punch volume off, and Dave doesn't like that.
Yeah. Do you feel that if Dave Allen fought him, Dave Allen would have to change something up instead of plodding forward, taking lever, and then winging a big one in every now and then?
Jamie's chin, apart from when David Adelaide kind of sucker punched him, I don't want to say that, fighting's fighting. Jamie's chin's pretty solid. So you can't get away with an odd single shot because three will come back.
Yeah.
I think Jamie's got to work on his accuracy. His right hand accuracy was probably the only bit that was missing there, where he was aiming it too high so Fraser could pull away. If he dropped it down about 6 inches, it's landing every time.
Mm. Yeah, it was a good fight though, wasn't it? But end of round 11, Fraser were gone money, really.
I thought they should have pulled him out.
Mm.
It was dangerous at that point. If
Yeah.
Jamie was imagine that had been like a real concussive punch, like a Wardley. Putting him in, I mean, you could have really done something nasty to him there. So sometimes you got to save guys from themselves. He wasn't going to win that fight. I know that people say the scorecards were 7-5, etc. I thought the scorecards were slightly off. I thought it was an 8-4 fight personally.
What were Terry O'Connor watching, Terry?
Porky's Corner, I imagine. I'm joking.
He's always there with a hometowner, isn't he, old Terry?
Yeah. Look, a lot of people would have been banging the drum for Fraser because obviously GB, he had a lot of momentum behind him. Really, I know I'll get in trouble for saying this. The promoter wanted him to win over Jamie, let's be honest. And it didn't happen.
Would you like to see Big Freeze in with a Toma?
No.
No.
He deserves better than to be a stepping stone like that.
Okay, well, I'll ask you this one. Big Freeze was 35. He's approaching 35 now. Do you think he left it a bit late to pro?
Yeah, he should have turned over. When they said Joe Joyce, actually, on a side note, him versus Joe Joyce, that'd be an interesting fight.
Well, it'd be a 40-year-old against a 35-year-old, wouldn't it?
Let him get in.
Yeah.
40's the
I'd
new
have a
30.
big, eh?
40's the new 30.
Well, I think Rhino will fight till he's 40. Do you?
Nah.
No? Okay. So TKV and Rhino, Eddie's talking about it, but they can't go for it straight away. Rhino would have to get a win, and then it'd have to be negotiated, wouldn't it, with board and that. Rhino's out February 21st on Wood Warrington rematch undercard in an 8-rounder. Who do you think they'll put Rhino in with? Just some knockover?
Who's the guy that Curtis Woodhouse has got. They might just put him in with like a Michael. Is it Michael Spencer?
Michael Webster.
Michael Webster. They'll put him in with that level of guy, I reckon.
Well, he's just folded in round to Yui with his man strength.
Yeah, your former favorite fighter.
He's now going to be the new Golovkin of the division. He's putting the division on notice, he says. He's making statements.
Just, you know what? 2 years ago, you would have been telling us how great that performance was. I'm enjoying.
Well, I've got Curtis on tomorrow, 11 o'clock, and he manages Michael Webster, doesn't he? And I'm just going to rip into him and say, what was that? Your man folded in a round. I'm going to stick it to
And he'll just tell you, oh, that's just boxing. That's what he'll tell you.
That's what they just say. Or I said to you, how come you're talking to so-and-so? I thought you didn't get on with me. I go, I'm doing best for my fighters.
He's not wrong. Point, Russ. You go nowhere in boxing if you keep fighting with people. Like, you've just got to do business. You got to grit your teeth and get the deal done.
That's why Dennis found it hard, because he's always knocking heads with people, in industry.
Mm.
And you've got to smile and swallow, haven't you? You've got to have some brass neck on you, a bit like Eddie, a bit like Frank. They're not bothered. They don't like anybody, only their own families.
No, it's not. No, I don't think it's not that. Like, they know in private, they know to be the right kind of person, because then no one listens to what happens in public. So Eddie will be as charming and as respectful as he needs to be in private, and then he'll just be loud and annoying in public, because that's the show for the fans. But behind the scenes, what you see behind the curtain, different energies, different conversations.
Yeah, we're wondering that when apparently Eddie pulled Rhino about his comments about Ben Eubank, and he said, just word it a bit different, Dave. But yeah, leading up to that conversation for 2 weeks now, all we've had is titles about Eddie not being happy with Rhino and blah, 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 this and that to draw people in. And then after all that bullshit, he just goes up to Rhino and says, just word it a bit different next time, mate. And that's it. So it's all knackers and drama, isn't it? Script writing.
Yeah, well, you write scripts. We all write scripts, right? We've all got to hit our audience.
I'm best in world at it.
Yeah, well, Carl Froch was. I mean, he was definitely licking off the tip of that for a bit, wasn't he?
He don't need me now, does he? He's on his way. A bit like Tony Jeffries, he's done well for himself on his channel. I like his vibe. Have you seen his channel, Tony's?
Is he still trying to teach people how to box?
Yeah, but he does like these funny boxing videos and that. Sometimes watch that. I think he's got a good. He comes across all right in front of the camera. I'm not so
Never
sure
done
about.
me any wrong. I think he's all right. I think Tony Jeffries is all right. Unlucky, wasn't he? Unlucky that he had brittle
Maloney.
hands.
He had Maloney backing him, didn't he? And he had hand injuries, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look what we've got on agenda here. Well, Dylan White Chisora. Is it going to happen? There's a couple of other channels mentioning it. It could be next for them. It's like the last dance. What do you think?
Very limited interest in that, mate. Let Dillian fight Fraser.
Dillian White against Fraser is a good fight. They've sparred before, and apparently Fraser used to get stuck into him.
Well, now's his chance.
Yeah. Okay. Usyk. He's piped up on that Coppers channel.
How do we know he's a copper?
Well, that's what people are telling me. So
yeah, but people lie to you all the time, though, Russ.
Peter Fury told me, yeah, he won a copper, but now he's got he's on leave. He's got he's had heart operation. That's what Peter Fury told me, and I went, well, whatever.
You said no. You said I don't give a shit.
Well, yeah, obviously I said what I said. That's that. You know what I'm like if I get something in my head. I'm like, whoa, got these hardened career criminals and that doing interviews with old Bill. And then they're supposed to can't stand old Bill. Next minute, they're doing interviews with him and Big Mount. It's not that long ago that Big Mount were on remand, is it, with Terry Dunstan? Padded up with him, bawling his eyes out about a little bit of remand. And then doing interviews with coppers. So don't tell me about stuff like that. And then you're going and jumping in bed with old Bill.
Look,
what I want to know is this: why is he not in front of the camera, PC Gully? Why are you fucking hiding behind it? Pop, pop, bang.
It's all about the fighters, Russ.
I understand that. Yeah, Coogan's not in front of cameras. He's always hiding, but who'd want to be in front of the camera if you were Coog, big lanky streak of piss? Do you know what I mean? I mean, what's happened to Coogan now? He's like feeding on scraps, and he used to get all juicy tidbit exclusives, didn't he?
Yeah, listen, he's getting crushed by Boxing King Media.
You getting what?
He's getting absolutely crushed by Boxing King Media.
Getting summer. Did you see that post that Asgi put out?
No.
About Tyson Fury? Let me see if I've got it on here. I'm going to read it to you. Let me listen to this. I nearly collapsed when I read this. Let's have a look. Aaron. Absolute weapon behavior. Weapon. Here we are. Listen to this. Listen to this, Terry. What if I told you that the retired Tyson Fury I'm watching train is faster than ever, hitting harder than ever, and taking his personal boxing journey to a complete new level, Mr. Too Fast Fury. That is human monitor lizard behavior from that Asgi. Oh my God.
But what's the point in being the best you've ever been if you're not going to fight?
Well, he's not fought for a year. He's got no lined up, and all of a sudden he's now taking it seriously. Well, what's he been doing for the last 30 years? Hey. What's going on here, Terry? Hey?
Mate, I'll tell you now. Yeah.
You might never fight again, Fury.
There's enough money to draw him out.
Well, this is how I look at it, right? If Turkey's playing hardball with them, they're not going to get the Joshua Fury fight on, are they? But after this Jake Paul thing's put to bed in the next few weeks, if it even happens, that fight's got to be next to both of them. If not, I think we have to turn off from them both, don't we, really?
Should have
It
turned
is.
off already.
I mean, it's getting stupid, isn't it? I mean, the Gad for 4 years been saying it's now or never. I mean, how many more now or nevers are we going to have?
Thing is, Russ, just everyone will watch it.
Yeah.
No one's got the backbone. Boxing fans don't have the backbone to not do anything. Just cowards.
Cowards. It's shocking
It's
behaviour,
cowards.
man. It's
Yeah.
shocking behaviour from this lot. Wardley, where does he go next? WBO champion. I don't see anybody queuing up to get in with him, do you?
He's not a draw.
He's got a belt.
It's not a draw, though. Why'd I get in? What's the point?
Yeah, but he's not. He's got a world title belt. You'd think people would be beating his door down to get at him, wouldn't you?
No. We always fall into this trap that the belts are important. The belts are only important if they change your life.
Yeah. Okay then. Atoma. They were talking Usyk and all these tough fights. I'm going to take all comers on. They're fighting Franklin. Is that a good fight?
Franklin's shown himself to be pretty durable, hasn't he?
Terry, don't be giving me any durable or shit. Fucking durable. What you was talking next? Swing rounds.
No. But what has everyone said about Atama? He needs to go rounds.
Yeah. Well, he's only done 26.
So why wouldn't you get someone in that's durable? I don't understand.
Well, what about Fraser Clark then? He's only done 58 rounds. Does he need any more rounds? Because they're already saying he's finished.
But he's not winning. That is a difference.
He's what?
He's not winning, is he? So there's a difference.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, he's been knocked out.
And Atama's not 35.
Yeah.
So no, let's turn this around. So who should Atama be fighting?
Well, if you're ranked number one by WBO and WBA and your promoter's got as much power as Bricktalk, you should be banging that door down to get Usyk in that ring. And if not, saying, well, why not? Why are you not fighting the next in line, Usyk? That's what should be happening.
Well, no, because Usyk's given his answer on Boxing King Media, your favorite channel. He said, look, the Wardley fight does nothing for me. All these fights do nothing for me.
But Wilder does.
Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does.
Usyk's
What?
never ducked anybody, has it? But is he fighting Wilder because he wants to say he took out the full era, even though
Yeah,
Wilder's past his best? Is that what is the
exactly. No,
is
but
that the script that they're going to come out with?
why is it a script? Wouldn't you like if you want to be known as an all-time great?
Yeah,
You don't want any questions about your career, do you? You
yeah,
don't want like, yeah, what if he had fought Wilder? Usyk's not stupid. He knows. Like when you look at guys like Ali, there's no questions on Ali's career. Ali beat
yeah.
the best of the era before him. He beat the best of his era across two spans, like before and after he was in prison. And then he beat the best of the next generation. Or no, he fought the next of the best generation in Larry Holmes.
Yeah, well, he beat Spinks, didn't he, at rematch?
Yeah.
Then he got
So
stuck
so
into Larry
so
Holmes.
so he was good across three different eras.
His last fight were against a world champion. Sorry, a guy who went on to beat world champion WBC, and he was
Mm-hmm.
an Olympian as well, one in Trevor Berbick. So Ali went from Floyd Patterson 1956 all the way through to were he in Olympics in 1980, were he? Canada? Or it's
Berbick.
76, Trevor Berbick, were it? I think it might be in
I can't
1980.
remember. But
Yeah,
even
because he's
Spinks,
Canadian, isn't he?
but Spinks was a gold medalist in the Olympics.
Yeah, but Burbeck weren't. He went to Olympics, but Spinks were gold medalists. Floyd Patterson were. Ali fought him twice. Fought Spinks
Frazier
twice.
was, Foreman was.
Fraser and Foreman. Yeah, he done that. Teofimo Stevenson, 1972 guy in sparring. He sparred him, didn't he, for a while? Ali
Yeah,
tested himself against all of them, didn't he? Larry Holmes, the next big thing, and all that, didn't he?
yeah. And so Usyk understands that. It's the same with
Yeah.
Lennox, right? There are no questions around Lennox's career. There are no questions around Devander's career. That's what Usyk wants to say. Listen, in my generation, look, I cleaned everything up.
Yeah, he did, mate, didn't he? We can't knock him, can we?
Nah, you can't.
Yeah.
Your
Uh,
comment section is going to be bumping for this one, man. You're going to get the Irish farm workers and all sorts of numbnuts banging their heads
no,
against the
mate.
screen.
Numbnuts. You wouldn't believe it's the emails that I wake up to, mate, that make me chuckle the most. But they give me the more ideas than ever. You ever get them days where you got like your head's just totally blank and you think, well, we're going over the same old thing here, but then you tell yourself, well, I need to ask different guests who come on channel the similar questions, but you have to mix it up. One day you'll
Yeah,
read from top to bottom, next day bottom to top, then you'll go out from middle outwards and fuck. But we're starved of that much action. We're doing videos about what Fred Bloggs has said about Joe Smith or Nigel Startermotor has said about fucking Cliff fucking Johnson or whatever. It's
or your
more
favorite
reactions.
flavor of crisps.
Yeah, or what's your favourite flavour of crisp? Pick on your Monster Munch, Cougs. It's that's where it's getting now because we're starved of, like I said, starved of action, aren't we? Really. But what I wanted to ask you is, it's nice to see Jamie TKV with a British title. Uh, I've met many fighters who had a British title, and they all seem to treasure that belt as much as even if they've got a world title or some who haven't got world titles, they treasure that belt. Do we think that more kudos needs to be put on the British title, and we need to get rid of all these trinket belts, Terry?
Do you know what happens with that British title, Russ? Like
Yeah,
when these guys retire and life catches up to them and whatnot, and some end up as cab drivers, some end up working for their dad's business, so whatever they end up doing, right? Whenever there's a reunion of these guys, the guys that won the British belt walk around differently
yeah,
because there's a respect in the whole room. Like you're a British champion, that means something. And I remember when Dan Aziz won the British, and he was happy because it meant that he could sit there with his peer group, your Craig Richards, your Boatsies, etc., knowing he had won what they won.
yeah.
And and it's this weird emotional thing that says we were at the same level because not everyone gets to be a world champion, right?
No, no.
But those guys that win the British can always look at each other and go, we were good pros.
Yeah. Well, Craig Richards is going to fight Dan Aziz, isn't he?
Yeah. Um, I guess this is what happens when you get to that age, right? You just start cashing out on these fights.
Have you got Dan Aziz to beat Craig Richards?
Mate, that's a hard. I can't. I
You
know
can't
both of
answer
them
that
so well.
because you go out for lunch with a pair of them, don't you? And they're your mates, and you've known
Like,
them
like
donkey's
we
years.
no, we'd be out together. Do you know what I mean? Like, if these guys weren't fighting, we'd all be sat together, laughing about what would happen if they fought. That's how close that group is. So it's a hard one. I wouldn't even want to pick a side in that one.
They both come across as nice kids, don't they? Craig Richards and Dan Aziz. I haven't met Dan Aziz. I've met Craig Richards. Me and Dennis met him at York Hall. And he comes, big trench coat on, M5 outside, and that pulled right up to the gate. But he's a decent kid. Decent kid, him. Mm.
Um, I always say this: the hardest people you know are always the most respectful.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the people I'm genuinely like, I wouldn't mess with him. Generally, the most kind, gentle, respectful people because they know that they can turn the switch.
yeah. Yeah, well, he's a nice kid, him. Think that he could have been matched a bit better, Craig Richards, if he'd have been like in the sort of circle, the real Essex circle. You got the impression that he'd have been a world champion, wouldn't you? But I always felt he'd been treated by promoters as like an afterthought kind of thing, and he's willing to fight anybody. You know, he don't seem like a pick and choose guy. He's always seemed like he'll fight anyone. Craig Richards.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do you
look,
see? Do
man,
you think that?
jumped in short notice against Bivol. Like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
have it.
And the other
And
kid,
remember,
Dan Aziz, he's a British Commonwealth European champion, isn't he?
area English.
Area English British. He won all lot except Wales, hasn't he?
Yeah,
So he can his family can be real proud of him. He can be proud of what he's done, him Dan Aziz, because he
yeah.
when he first started out, I remember him. When he rival with Shakan Peters?
Well,
Were
in the
he?
pros, no, no.
No. Who would he rival with him now? His big rival.
He didn't really have one.
He ain't really had a dance partner. Well, either way, I
No,
think
so
he.
with Dan, no, the reason he didn't really have a dance partner was Dan's from Southeast London. So based on where he lived, it should be Craig Richards, Andre Sterling, Joshua Boatsy, right? They're all part of
Yeah.
the same sort of group. And put who's the other guy that used to box out of there as well? You can even put guys in like Javan Young, etc., because they're all like a similar generation. But because Dan boxed out of Eastern counties, he mostly boxed out of Essex. So we didn't really he didn't have a chance to build those natural rivalries up. So his natural rival was a guy called Ashley Vanzi, based out of Bradford,
Yeah.
because they fought a lot. But I just don't think Ashley Vanzi turned pro. People say it was legal troubles, no idea.
Well, either way, they've done well. Then they should be proud of themselves. Obviously, not everybody can be your better Beebs, your Benny Vitases, and your Bivals. But if you throw yard in mix, they all got to test themselves, didn't they? Do you know what I mean? But when I look at their careers and I look at Callum Smith's, I look at somebody, in my opinion, who hasn't got much more ability than them, but has been marketed a bit better and maneuvered better. Do you think?
I actually think Callum's probably just a little step ahead of some of them. Now,
Yeah.
I
But not
don't
that
know.
much. Not that
No,
much.
no.
Right.
Like, I think him versus Spider would be competitive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I
I
say to
agree.
people, Craig's jab is weird. Right? Just remember when he fought Bivol. And I'm not trying to hear none of this ring rust nonsense because we've seen Bivol take loads of time out the ring and not lose a step. Craig's jab had Bivol confused. Like, what's going on here? And it took him ages to figure that out. And if Craig had been busier in the first half of that fight, I think the gap would have been a lot closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's interesting to see that, mate. Interesting to see. Do you see Boatsi and Yard getting it on?
I think that's all they've got left now, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got to fight now. Could you see Yard having a tune up first with Liam Cameron?
I don't want to see Liam Cameron fed to anyone like that. Like, let Liam kind of ride out this thing. Let him mature at 175. Let him thicken out a bit at 175. Let him have a chance to do something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then if that doesn't work, then think about who you match him up with.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see. It's the light heavyweight division. It's not had as much kudos in recent times as the super middleweight division, but I think now it's a lot better than the super middleweight division. When I look at super middleweights now, I think it's pony the quality. Do you?
Yeah, because it's really a European division, isn't it? The
Yeah,
Americans have
really.
just
Yeah,
never got on board with it.
yeah. Yeah. Well, Roy Jones didn't want to stay there that weight long, and neither did James Toney. You
Yeah,
know them
they all
sort of
went about
guys.
heavy. Bernard went straight from 160 to 175.
Yeah, Bernard Hopkins even went from 160 to 175. He said, "I'm old school." So, all right then, Terry. You want to go on to part two and give me, say, 5 minutes, yeah?
No
I'm gonna
worries, mate.
throw some water on my face. I'll see you in five, yeah?
No worries.
Cheers, kid. Pop, pop, bang. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Uh, I've had a heavy one last night. I'm absolutely shatterooned. So, okie doke. One peace out. Max, still not talking to you. You're a cop.